Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. It's been a while since I've been live, but that's okay. I've just been in the trenches. Uh, I've just been, um, you know how we do. You see the title, you know, as you come into the room, you know how parents raised us. You say hello. You say, how are you? I'm not going to be before you long this evening. I just had to, my, I was inspired by something that just wouldn't leave me alone. So I dropped live. Um, as my spiritual mentor would say, when you're divinely agitated by something, that means you're supposed to address it. So I came on live, and if you're seeing this, say hello. You know how we do. I'll acknowledge everybody that I've dropped in later on. But earlier on this evening, my niece did a post. And I'm not going to quote the post, but to paraphrase, she was talking about her accomplishments, but how there weren't accomplishments, but it was because she just felt she had to do it. And oftentimes, people's responses to her is, "You're strong." And when I looked at the comments, here we go again. People responded to her saying, "You're strong, you've got this." You know, one person even said, "You're built for tough," you know, and it's all of the normal things people say. But I think at that moment, I felt her. I was connected to her. I knew what she was trying to say. And here's what I want to say: we've replaced toxic with toxic in our society. You're strong is meant to be a rallying cry. It is meant to be this affirmation to say you've got it, but it's not a compliment. What you're strong says to somebody is, I see you're struggling, but I don't want to hear what you're saying. What you're strong is saying to somebody is, I hear you crying out, but I don't want to hear your cries. And for somebody who is going to see this replay, is going to listen to this replay, is going to have 1,000 excuses for why I'm wrong. I want to listen. I want you to hear me out because I want you to listen to somebody who, during a period in time when I was struggling, during a period in time when I was going through, people time after time after time kept telling me you're strong. And I believe most of the people meant well, but all you were doing was silencing my voice. And I want to tell you, in your meaning well, you're suppressing and compressing people who all they want sometimes is a hug. All they want sometimes is to know someone cares. Sometimes they just want someone to listen. So when someone reaches out, do a Facebook post, instead of going for the "you strong," pick up the phone and say, "Are you okay?" Pick up the phone and say, I hear you. I see you. And if you don't have the capacity to do that, then send a virtual hug and be silent. Because sometimes in our endeavor to do well, we're doing more harm than good. In one of my podcast episodes that I'm dropping shortly, I was talking to a mental health expert, and sometimes we put more on our friends than we should, and that's a truth that's out there. And they don't have the capacity for what we have, and maybe we should just dial up a mental health expert for a session or two to decompress everything that we're going through. But in still, this whole "you're strong" narrative that we've adopted into our vernacular is doing more harm than good. I know in 2020 when I had my stroke and I'm suffering from left-sided weakness and I'm learning to walk again and I'm learning to use my left hand again and I'm learning to speak at a normal pace again. People telling me I'm strong wasn't what I wanted to hear. And I understand people didn't have the capacity or didn't want to hear what I was going through. But you telling me time and time again that I'm strong and I have two kids and I'm not working and I have rent to pay and food to put on the table wasn't what I wanted to hear. And it wasn't an affirmation. It was crushing. You were silencing my voice. So in that moment, I'm strong was not a compliment. It was silencing. It was crushing. So we have used that phrase to the point that it is crippling people. It is time for us to remember words and phrases have meaning. And it's time to remember that it's okay to not respond. And it's okay to tell a friend, I love you, and maybe I can't be there for you in the way you need me, but I can refer you to someone. As in my podcast episode, I was talking with Coach Beverly. We were talking about community. Sometimes we need to expand our communities. The current community we have can no longer support and serve us. And we need to expand that community because I'm strong is the only thing the current community can give us. So therefore, we need to expand the community that we have so that our new community can support us differently. Because you're strong is not a compliment. You're strong is a death sentence to somebody that is going through something. It's just a little something to think about the next time a friend is posting something and you want to respond with, I'm strong, or you're strong. You got this. It can feel dismissive to the person you're responding to, no matter how well intentioned you are. That's all I wanted to drop for tonight. And if you want to dismiss my words, I challenge you to press forward a little bit and put yourself on the other side of that statement when you're going through. Have a good evening.